How satisfied are you by what you witnessed at the hearing earlier today?
You know, everything I've seen today, and even the conversation I had with her in my office, I could not get a straight answer from her. And that's what you saw today, unfortunately. For somebody that is going to take the position to run one of the largest branches or executive agencies, right, this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, that's supposed to be looking out for the best interests of consumers when it comes to financial products, we could not even get her to be transparent and accountable about what she is doing now at the OMB and her direct actions that she has taken that have had an impact on a number of things we had questions on. So I had a number of concerns. She did not alleviate those concerns, and I, at this juncture, don't know how I can support her and won't be supporting her.
So what's next for the Democrats? Because still the Republicans could support her. Do you believe that her appointment will pass?
I don't know. I wasn't able to listen to all of my colleagues, so I'm not sure where they're going to be at the end of the day. But I will tell you, the question and answer period that took place during this hearing and the comments that, and keep this in mind, these weren't gotcha questions. These were my colleagues that were just asking legitimate questions as part of the advice and consent process that we have for the nominees that come before us. We are not a rubber stamp for this administration. There's advice and consent. We ask questions to make sure that they have the background, the experience to oversee these agencies. And what I saw today, based on the questioning from both of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, she does not have the experience, nor is she willing to even answer direct questions that are given to her to even talk about what she's doing now as part of OMB.
Procedurally speaking, there's really not much time on the Senate floor in order to get her through the confirmation. And my question, just from your vantage point as a Democrat, is it better to have the current situation, the status quo as we speak, or to kind of push for floor time and get her nomination through?
Well, I don't see a benefit either way. I mean, either we have her or we have her boss, right? Mulvaney, who's systematically gutting and taking away all of the consumer protections we put in place with the CFPB. And believe me, this is an agency that I know very well because the Attorney General of the state of Nevada for 8 years. I had the opportunity to work with the CFPB when it was created, and what they did to protect consumers in Nevada alone, let alone across the country, and working with attorneys general to protect consumers is so crucial.
And what's interesting is that, you know, most people, when they hear the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they think of the regulatory structure of this. But you noted about how housing is impacted by this. Immigration policy, and in fact, some of your colleagues noted that the policy of the controversial immigration separation policy, she was wrapped up in helping to craft that, no?
That's absolutely right. So part of our role here is to determine whether she is a good fit for running this agency, is to learn her background, her experience, what decision making she's had, what she has been involved with. We know that she has admitted to some extent being involved with the implementation of this administration's zero tolerance policy that is separating parents from their children at the border. But she would not tell us specifically what she did, and we have sent letters to her. She never even responded to the letters from United States senators asking those questions, and that's why you saw the questioning today. We were trying to get answers from her.
Okay, so as Kevin just mentioned, she will get squeezed for time on the floor. And that might be also because you have to deal with the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court. How are the Democrats prepared to fight this?
Well, I think right now we are all looking for information about the nominee, about Mr. Kavanaugh. We want to look at his writings. My understanding, and I don't sit on judiciary, but my understanding there's over 1 million documents based on his writings or things that he has put out there, taking opinion or addressing opinions on certain issues. I want to see that. I'm an attorney. I want to see his opinions. I want to see his writings. I want to see what he stands for on particular issues and his comments. I think we all have that opportunity as United States senators. I take very seriously the advice and consent authority that I have. And so, yeah, I think we want to take the time to uncover what he has done and said in the past. And that's going to really require a number of things: to get all those documents, to get the opportunity and the time to go through them, to have a judiciary hearing, right, so that we can question him based on what we find in those documents, and also personally meet with him. I want to personally meet with him. I want to be able to ask him about some of the concerns that I already know about, that I want him to address personally, because I want to see how he responds to it.
Some of those concerns, abortion rights, of course, from what you've seen so far, do you believe that Judge Kavanaugh poses a threat to Roe v. Wade?
Not only Roe v. Wade, but a woman's right to choose, right? A woman's right for freedom with respect to how she handles her health care decisions. I also have concerns about what I'm seeing now is his position that a sitting president should not be held accountable for any violations of the law or any impeachment while in office. I think that is outrageous. Nobody is above the law. And that includes the President of the United States. So those are concerns I have with respect to his writings. I also seen where he's against net neutrality. Again, this is a number one issue that I hear from my constituents, that our internet should be open and free for everybody to use without being throttled, controlled by corporations or big companies. And he has taken a position there as well. So there's a number of things I think many of us want to talk to him about. Obviously, the health care and the right to choose and a freedom for women's choice is going to be key to part of this as well.
Senator, final question. Debate going on within your party right now about treason, Russia. I mean, is treason, did the president commit treason in your view?
No, I will tell you this. I think many of us are concerned about what we saw. Now, what I saw was a president standing next to Putin and basically throwing our country under the bus, not putting America first. And he can spin it any way he wants. He can try to walk it back. But what mattered was that point in time when he was standing there. And I think individuals are going to decide for themselves whether they want a president who is going to act like a president and protect the interests of all Americans and stand up for our country, or not, and abdicate to someone like Putin, who we know has committed atrocities in his own country and is using whatever tools he can to infiltrate our election process and change our democratic process here and how we vote, which is outrageous to me. And I want a president who's going to stand up to that.